Hello friends, welcome to the lecture series of Basics of Transformer and Transformer Design. I am here with you. Let us solve some more problem based upon the transformer today. So the first problem is statement is on my screen. A 500 kVA 2200 oblique 500 volt single phase transformer has 10% impedance. It has resistance of 0.01 ohm. Find the impedance, percentage resistance and reactance. So students, what is the per unit system that you have studied in power system 2? So first of all, let us find out the full load secondary current. So let us find out full load secondary current. Because kVA rating is given to you. So what is the kVA rating? 500. I will convert that into volt ampere divided by 500. That is the secondary voltage. Okay. So you will get the secondary current equals to 1000 ampere. Okay. Then you have studied that. What is the base impedance? Base impedance is denoted by normally ZB, which is equals to voltage divided by the rated voltage divided by the full load current. So I2 full load I will write down here. This will give you the base impedance. So what is V2? V2 is 500 divided by full load current is 1000 ampere. So my base impedance will be 1/2 or half ohm, right? Then let Z is the actual impedance. Let Z is the actual impedance. So therefore, by the formula, we can say that percentage impedance is nothing but ratio of your actual impedance and base impedance. So what is my actual impedance? It is Z. What is my base impedance? It is 1/2. So percentage impedance is equal to 2 into Z. Okay. But we know that, therefore, I can write down here 2Z equals to 2Z equals to what? It is nothing but, what is given? It is nothing but 10% impedance. So it is 10%, means 10 by 100. So what is Z? Therefore, Z will be equals to 0.1 ohm. So you got the actual impedance here. So actual impedance is 0.1 ohm. Similarly, I can find out the percent resistance. How to find out the percent resistance? Percent resistance is equal to R divided by base impedance. So percentage resistance equals to a ratio of R to the base impedance. So what is R is given to you in the problem? It is 0.01 ohm. Okay. So 0.01 ohm divided by ZB. What is ZB? 1/2. So percentage resistance you will get it as 0.02 per unit, or we can say it as a 2%. We can say it as a 2%. So this is your first answer. One minute. Here this Z will be 0.1 divided by 2. So what is the Z? Z is nothing but 0.05 ohm. Sorry for that. Okay. Now what we have to find out next? We have to find out we got the impedance, we got the percentage resistance. Now we have to find out the percentage reactance. So students, what is reactance? Reactance X we can write down as, it is nothing but z square minus r square, which implies that my x is equal to under root of what is z? 0.05 whole square minus what is r given in the problem? 0.01 whole square. So you will get x equals to 0.049 ohm. But we don't want the reactance, we want the percentage reactance. So how we can find out the percentage reactance? So we can find out the percentage reactance by simply dividing the value of the reactance by the base impedance. So the percentage reactance equals to x divided by the base impedance. So what is x? 0.049 divided by ZB is nothing but 1/2, right? So percentage reactance x is nothing but 0.098 or it is nothing but 9.8%. Now let us move to the next problem. Next problem is this. The parameter of approximate equivalent circuit of 4 kVA 200 by 400 volt 50 Hz single phase transformer R. RE1 is nothing but the RT1, that is the equivalent resistance of the transformer referred to the primary side. It is 0.15 ohm. XE1 is equal to 0.37 ohm. R0, right, that is equals to 0.15 ohm and XM is equal to 300 ohm. When the rated voltage of 200 volt is applied to the primary, a current of 10 ampere 0.8 pf lagging flows in the secondary winding. You have to calculate the current in the primary and terminal voltage at the secondary. Just a minute soon, there is one mistake here. Actually R0 cannot be this much of salt. So just I will rewrite here the R0 RE1 which is given equivalent resistance of the transformer referred to primary side, it is 0.15 ohm. XE1 equals to 0.37 ohm and please instead of 0.115 R0 take 600 ohm, right? This is the shunt circuit resistance. The shunt circuit which is which we are showing in the equivalent circuit for representing your IC. So that resistance is 600 ohm. Please write down here 600 ohm. Then XM is nothing but which is taking into account your IM. So it is given as 300 ohm. Then when these are the parameters given and my rated voltage of 200 volt is applied to the primary, my primary is taking 10 ampere current at 0.8 power factor lagging. No, this is secondary current, means 10 ampere is flowing in the secondary of the transformer at 0.8 pf lagging. Okay, we have to calculate the current in the primary. So let us start. First of all, we will calculate the current in the primary. What is your I2? I2 is equal to 10 ampere at 0.8 pf lagging. So what is I2 dash? I2 dash will be K into I2. So what is K? K is nothing but V2 upon V1. So 400 divided by 200 into I2, that is 2. So I2 dash will be 20 ampere at 0.8 pf lagging. So in polar form I can write down, or rectangular form I can write down I2 dash equals to 20 at an angle of cos inverse of 0.8, or I can write down I2 dash in rectangular form as 16 minus J12 ampere. If you convert this polar quantity into rectangular, you will get I2 dash. Okay. So now, how to find out IC? IC is nothing but the component of no load current which is taking into account the no load losses. So IC will be simply the voltage impressed across the primary divided by your R0, which is 600. So it is 0.33 ampere. Similarly, we can find out IM. What is IM? IM is equal to voltage impressed across primary divided by your XM. What is XM given? 300. This is the imaginary component of your no load current. So it is equals to 0.67 ampere. So again I will write down my no load current in rectangular form. So what is my I0? My I0 will be IC minus JIM, which is equals to 0.33 minus J of 0.67 ampere. Why we are finding out I2 dash and I0? Because my primary current I1 is nothing but vector sum of your I0 and I2 dash, right? I2 dash. So what is my I1? I1 will be I0, that is 0.33 minus J 0.67 plus I2 dash will be 16 minus J12 ampere. Okay, so from this I will get I1 equals to 20.67 at an angle of minus 37.8 degree. Simply, whatever the answer you will get from this equation, you have to convert that into polar form. So this is about the A part. In B part, what we have to find out? In B part, we have to find out terminal voltage at the secondary side. So to explain this concept, let us draw the phase equivalent circuit first. Equivalent circuit refer to the primary side. So students, this is your RE1, XE1. Then simply I will draw shunt circuit here. So this will be your RC, XM, and this will be your V2 dash. This will be your V2 dash. RC, XM, this is the I1, which is vector sum of this I0 and I2 dash. This is your applied voltage V1. What is the applied voltage? It is equals to 200 volts. What is RC? 600 ohm. Right? XM 300 ohm. Right? What is V2 dash? V2 dash is nothing but V2 by K. V2 by K. Okay. And what is there? This is your RE1. This is your XE1. Okay. So now what we have to find out? We have to find out the terminal voltage at the load or the secondary side. What is mentioned in the problem? Terminal voltage at the secondary side means we have to find out V2 dash. We have to find out the V2 dash. So student, I can write down V2 dash equals to V1. This is V1 minus drop across this, right? Because this branch and this branch both are in parallel. So simply, if I subtract this drop across this impedance from 200, I will get V2 dash. So V1 minus what is current flowing through RE1 and XE1, I2 dash into RE1 plus JXE1. Okay. So V2 dash equals to 200 at an angle of 0 degree. Let us V is your reference vector, minus what is I2 dash we got 20 at an angle of cos inverse of 0.8. Cos inverse of 0.8 is nothing but minus 36.87 into RE1, which is given as 0.15, XE1 0.7. So 0.15 plus J 0.37. So if we calculate this, you will get V2 dash as 193.2 at an angle of minus 1.2. But we have to find out, this is the terminal voltage referred to the primary side. But what is V2 dash? V2 dash is nothing but V2 by K. So what is V2? Therefore, what is V2? V2 is equal to K into V2 dash. K into V2 dash. So what is K? Simply K is nothing but ratio of secondary to primary. So 400 by 2, right? So it will be 2 into 193.2 at an angle of minus 1.2 volts. So my V2 will be equals to 386.4 at an angle of 1.2 degree volts. So this is very simple problem. Don't get confused in this. First of all, we have to see what are the quantities given, and from those quantities what we can find out. Now let us move to the next problem, which is based upon the calculation of efficiency of the transformer. So problem statement is, a transformer has its efficiency of 0.98 at 15 kVA at unity power factor. During the day, the transformer is loaded as the follows. 10 hours 3 kilowatt, power factor is 0.6. 5 hours 10 kilowatt, power factor is 0.8. Next 5 hours 18 kilowatt, power factor is 0.9. And next 4 hours at no load. So 10 plus 5 15, 15 plus 5 20, 20 plus 4 24. So one day, how your transformer is loaded, that data is given to you, and you have to find out the all day efficiency of the transformer. Okay, so what is the all day efficiency of the transformer, student? All day efficiency of the transformer is nothing but the ratio of the total output during the day divided by the input, right? So we have to find out the energy loss. Okay, so let us start with the problem. First of all, what is given in the data? It has a maximum efficiency of the 0.98. So I will write down here eta max equals to 0.98. Okay, and the kVA, which is corresponding to the maximum efficiency, it is given as 15 kVA. Okay, this is not rating of the transformer. This is the kVA, which is corresponding to the maximum efficiency. At that time, what is the power factor? It is unity power factor. Okay, so now load at which maximum efficiency occur, it is 15 kVA at unity power factor. So at maximum efficiency, we have studied that. At maximum efficiency, we have studied that my iron loss equals to copper loss, or my constant loss equals to the variable loss. So what is the maximum efficiency? Maximum efficiency is nothing but output upon output plus iron loss and copper loss. But my iron loss and copper loss both are same. So I will write down here 2 into Pi, that is the iron loss. That is the 2 times iron loss, because my copper loss is also equals to iron loss. So now what is the output? This is output in the kW. So kW when the output is given in the kW, we have to convert that into the when the output is given in the kVA, then we have to convert that into kW. So what is the kVA at maximum efficiency? 15. What is the power factor? 1. So kVA into power factor is nothing but your kW, okay, into 1000, because I have to convert that kVA into VA, divided by 15 into 1 into 1000 plus 2 pi. And what is this given to you? This is equals to 0.98. So from this we can find out pi. So you will get pi equals to 153 watts. You will get pi equals to 153 watt, or I will convert this into kilowatt. So this will be 0.153 kilowatt. Means my iron loss I can determine from the data which is given for the efficiency at maximum point. Now let us start with your interval 1. What is interval 1? The transformer is on for 10 hours. Power is 3 kilowatt and power factor is 0.6. So let us start with your interval 1. Here 10 hours. 10 hours. What is the load? What is the load? 3 kilowatt at 0.6. So load up, I will find out load in kVA. So kW divided by power factor, I will get load in kVA. So it is 5 kVA, right? So then find out copper loss at 5 kVA. Copper loss at 5 kVA. So directly I will write down the copper loss at 15 kVA is 0.153, which is equals to iron loss. So what is the copper loss at 5 kVA? This loss is directly proportional to current square, and my kVA is directly proportional to current. So this copper loss at this much of kVA should get multiplied by this fraction. Okay, so you will get this as a 0.017 kilowatt. 0.017 kilowatt. So what is the energy loss now? Therefore, what is the energy loss? This is for 1 hour. Therefore, total energy loss is nothing but, this is kW, right? Yes or no? Yes. So, as this is your kW. Why this is your kW? Because we are finding out the copper loss at 5 kVA load. Okay. So, kVA will get cancelled, and this iron loss is in kilowatt. So, I am getting the copper loss in kilowatt. So, what is the energy? Energy is nothing but power into time. So, 0.017. For how much of time this transformer is working? 10 hours. So, I will get this as 0.17 kWh. Okay. Similarly, I can find out it for interval 2. I will explain it again properly. Listen, student. So for interval 2, now let us find out the energy loss. My interval 2 is 5 hours 10 kilowatt at power factor of 0.8. So interval 2, 5 hours. 5 hours. Load is, what is load? Load is kW divided by power factor. So 10 divided by 0.8. So it is 12.5 kVA. Why we are finding out load into kVA? Load from kW into kVA, because my copper loss is given at that particular kVA. Means copper loss at 15 kVA I got. Okay. So that I have. So I have to find out the copper loss at this much of kVA. Okay, so what is copper loss? Copper loss will be equals to 15 kVA. The copper loss is 0.153 kilowatt. So for 12.5 kVA, how much it is? But this should we have to take square, because my copper loss is directly proportional to current square. and my kVA is directly proportional to current square. So that's why I have to take the kVA square here. Okay, so this you will get it as 0.1042 kilowatt. 42 kilowatt. Then I will now find out energy loss. So what is energy loss? This transformer is on for in this interval it is for 5 hours. So 5 into 0.1042. So it will be 0.2521 kWh. Okay, I will underline this. Similarly, I will underline this because we have to afterward add this all. Sorry, not this. Just a minute. Okay. Now come to interval 3. In the same manner we have to proceed for other interval also. Interval 3, I will write down 5 hours. Load is 18 divided by 0.9 equals to 20 kVA. Right? Then copper loss equals to 20 by 15 whole square into 0.153, that's equals to 0.272 kilowatt, right? Then what is energy loss? Energy loss is equal to 0.272 into 5. So it will be equals to 1.36 kWh. Okay. Then in the similar manner, interval 4. In interval 4, 4 hours but no load. So what is copper loss? Copper loss equals to 0 and hence energy loss equals to 0. This is the energy loss due to the copper loss, right? During the whole day. Means we have to add all 4 interval energy loss which is happening due to the current flowing through. Now similarly I can write down here energy loss. My iron loss is constant throughout the day. So energy loss due to iron loss during whole day, it will be equals to 0.153 into 24. For this 4 also, as there is no load but copper iron loss will be there. So I have multiplied by 24. So this you will get it as 3.672 kWh. Okay. Then I will write down next point, energy loss due to copper loss during whole day equals to, now we have to add these 3, 0.17, 0.521 and 1.36. During 4th interval there is no copper loss. Okay, so this is 0.17 plus 0.521 plus 1.36. So this will be equals to 2.051 kWh. Always take 3 digits after the decimal point. Therefore, what is total energy loss? Total energy loss is nothing but energy loss due to the iron loss and energy loss due to the copper loss. So it is equals to 2.051 plus this one 3.672. So it will be this much of kWh. Okay. Now, what is the total output during the whole day? Total output during the whole day is nothing but, how to find out total output? Now see, these intervals are given to you. Output is nothing but kW into R. So this is the output. So 10 into 3 plus 10 into 5 plus 18 into 5 plus 0 into 4. That is 0. So that is the total output during the whole day. Here I will write down total output during the whole day equals to 3 into 10 plus 10 into 5 plus 18 into 5. So that will be equals to 170 kWh. Now we know, student, what is the all day efficiency? Efficiency all day is nothing but total output energy in kWh divided by output into kWh plus losses in kWh. So I will write down here output divided by output plus losses. Right? So what is the output? It is 170. What is the output? It is 170 divided by 170 plus what are the losses? Losses are nothing but these two. So I will write down as it is here 2.051 plus 3.672 into 100. So all day efficiency you will get as equals to 96.7%. The normal difference between all day efficiency and normal efficiency is that while finding out all day efficiency, this output should be nothing but the total energy output. So this output should be in kWh or the energy output. Similarly, in the denominator, this is the energy input, which is nothing but the output in kWh plus losses in kWh. Because your distribution transformer is running throughout the day, therefore its efficiency is always expressed as a ratio of the energy in output to the energy input. Next problem statement is given below. A 100 kVA 440 by 220 volt single phase 50 Hz core type transformer has an efficiency of 98.5% when supplying full load at 0.8 power factor lagging and an efficiency of 99% when supplying half load at unity power factor. Find the iron loss and copper loss at the full load. So what is iron loss? Iron loss, let us denote it by Pi. Let us denote it by Pi. And full load copper loss, let us denote it by PCU. Here the fraction X that I have taught you in my lecture while teaching you the efficiency formula, that fraction for full load X is equal to 1 for full load copper loss. Okay. So what is efficiency formula? Percentage efficiency equals to kVA into cos phi into 1000. This is the output, right? Divided by output again kVA into cos of phi into 1000 plus Pi plus X square PCU full load. PCU full load. Okay. So here what is given in the problem? This transformer has an efficiency of 98.5% when supplying full load at 0.8 power factor lagging. Means full load efficiency is given as into 100. So as from both sides I will write down this as 0.985 equals to, what is the kVA? 100 into 1000 means 10 raised to 3. I will write down what is the power factor? 0.8 divided by 100 into 10 raised to 3 into 0.8 plus PI plus PCU full load. Okay, into 100 I will not write down because this I have converted into the divided by the 1000. So this is your equation number 1. Or simply I will first of all simplify this. If you simplify this, you will get 0.985 PI plus 0.985 PCU full load equals to 1200. This first equation you will get from the efficiency which is given at the full load. Okay. Now output of the transformer at half load. Now second is given an efficiency of 99% when supplying half load. When transformer is supplying the half load, the kVA at the half load is directly half of the full load kVA. So what is the kVA at the full load? 100 kVA. So what is the kVA at the half load? It is half of full load kVA. So I can write down output of transformer at half load with unity power factor, UPF. Okay, so that will be equals to 1/2 into 100, means this is the kVA at half load multiplied by 1 kVA into power factor. So it will be 50 kilowatt. So now the efficiency is again given to you as 99%. Efficiency is given to as 99%. So from this again I will write down the second equation. How to write down? Again we will see what is the efficiency formula. So what is the efficiency given? 0.99. 99% means 0.99 into output or kVA into cos of phi. Directly we have done here kVA into cos of phi. So directly I will write down here 50 into 10 raised to 3. Convert that kW into watt divided by 50 into 10 raised to 3. Iron loss will not change at any load. It is constant throughout, but my copper loss will get changed. So what is this X? X is half load now, means half square into PCU full load, Okay, so from this I will get one equation. I will write down that equation here. 0.99 PI plus 0.2475 PCU full load. PCU full load means copper loss at full load equals to 500. Okay, this is your equation number 2. You will get this equation number 2. Solving equation 1 and 2, what I will get? I will get PI and PCU. So PI you will get 267.3 watt and PCU full load you will get 950.9 watt. So please verify this, solve these two equations. These are the two equation, linear equation. By solving this equation I am getting the copper loss and the iron loss. So iron loss we got, as well as copper loss at full load we got. Now move to the next problem. Calculate the voltage regulation of the transformer having copper loss of 2% of the output and reactance drop of 5% when power factor is 0.8 lagging and 0.8 leading. Simply students, we have studied one formula for the regulation in terms of the percentage drop. Percentage regulation is equal to I1 RT1 cos of phi plus minus I1 XT1 sin of phi divided by V1 divided by V1. What is this I1 RT1 divided by, what is RT1? Equivalent resistance referred to the primary side. XT1 is the equivalent reactance of the transformer referred to primary side. What is V1? Voltage applied across the primary side. Nothing is given to you in this problem. Only the drops are given to you. But students, what is I1 RT1 upon V1 is nothing but equals to percentage. Yes, what is this? This is what is given in the problem, having copper loss of 2% of output and reactance drop of 5% of the output. So this is the copper loss, which is, this is the percentage copper loss, and I1 XT1 upon V1 is nothing but the percentage reactance drop. This is the percentage resistance drop. And I1 XT1 upon V1 is nothing but the percentage reactance drop. So simply we have to put the value percentage regulation. Positive sign is for lagging power factor, negative sign is for leading power factor. Okay, so we will get here, so 0.02, 2% means 0.02 into cos of phi 1. This term into cos of phi 1. So that is cos of phi 1 is 0.8 lagging, right? 0.8 lagging. Plus, now at a time we can find out for lagging and leading. Plus sign is for lagging, minus sign is for leading. 0.05 reactance drop into power sign of phi means 0.6 divided by nothing. Why? Because this is already we have taken. So what we will get into 100 into 100. So what you will get it as 4.6% at lagging, means when your sign is positive, this is the regulation at lagging, and minus 1.4% at leading. For leading you have to take the negative sign. For leading you have to take the, so this is the answer for lagging and this is the answer for leading. Now let us move to the next problem. The problem statement is single phase step down transformer has turns ratio of 3. Resistance and reactance of the primary winding are 1.2 ohm, 6 and 6 ohm respectively. And those of secondary windings are 0.05 and 0.03 ohm respectively. If high voltage winding is supplied at 230 volts, this is a step down transformer, right? So primary winding is supplied with 230 volt, with low voltage winding short circuited. You have to find out the current in the low voltage winding, copper loss in the transformer and the power factor. So first of all we'll write down the data. What is the turns ratio given? Turns ratio equals to 3. Okay. Then what is R1? Just a minute please. R1 equals to 1.2 ohm. X1 is equal to 6 ohm. Then R2 is equal to 0.05 ohm. X2 is equal to 0.03 ohm. Okay, this is the data given to you. Okay, so now refer to HV side, I will find out the equivalent resistance of the transformer. So what is that? That is nothing but RT1, which is equals to R1 plus R2 dash. which is equals to what is R1 1.2 plus turns ratio is 3. So it is 1 by R2 divided by K. R2 divided by K square. So directly I will write down this as 3 square into 0.05. 0.05. Okay. So it will be 1.65 ohm. Similarly, XT1 equivalent resistance of the transformer referred to primary side is X2 dash. What is X2 dash? X2 dash is nothing but X2 by K. But what is K? K is 1 by 3. So 1 divided by 1 by 3 is nothing but 3. 3 square. So it will be equals to 6 plus 0.03 into 3 square. So you will get this as, so it will give me 6.27 ohm. 6.27 ohm. Now from RT1 and XT1 I can find out ZT1, which is equals to under root of RT1 square plus XT1 square. So you will get ZT1 equals to 6.48 ohm. Now it is given in the problem that when your high voltage winding is supplied with the 230 volt, at that time low voltage winding is short circuited. So at that time we can find out the short circuit current. So what is the short circuit current? Short circuit current ISC is nothing but VSC upon ZT1, or we can say it as a ZSC, or we can say it as a ZSC. What is VSC given? 230 volt divided by ZT1, that is 6.48. So you will get ISC here, which is equals to 35.47 ampere. Okay. Now we will neglect I0. If I0 is neglected, then I can write down I1 is equal to I2 dash. I1 is equal to I2 dash, which is equals to 35.47 ampere again. Okay. So now why we have neglected I0? Because no data is given to calculate the I0. Hence I have assumed that my I1 is equal to I2 dash. Okay. So what is the current in the low voltage winding? I2 equals to, we know students, what is I2? I2 dash is equal to K into I2, right? K into I2. So what is I2? I2 is nothing but I2 dash by K. I2 dash by K. So what is 1 K? K is 1 by 3. K is 1 by 3. Because K is nothing but reciprocal of your turns ratio. So I2 dash upon 1 by 3 means I2 dash into 3. So 35.47 into 3. So I will get here I2, secondary current I2 is equal to 106.4 ampere. Okay. Then now we can find out total copper loss. Therefore, total copper loss, that is WSC. This is which test which is performed on the transformer. This is the short circuit test. Okay. So WSC is nothing but I1 square into RT1. I1 square into RT1. But what is I1? What is I1? I1 is nothing but which is equals to your I2 dash. So I2 dash we got here, right? Or I2 we got I2 dash we. So I1 is nothing but equals to I2 dash. So I will write down here I2 dash square into RT1. RT1. So what is I2 dash? 35.47 whole square into RT1 is nothing but 1.65. I think 1.65. So WSC you will get as 2076 watt. 2076 watt. Now what we have to find out? We have to find out copper loss in the transformer, we got it. We have to find out current in the low voltage winding, we got it. Then power factor we have to find out. Means power factor at the short circuited condition. Students, we know that when we have performed the short circuit test, my WSC is nothing but VSC into ISC into cos of phi SC. Right? So what is cos of phi SC? Cos of phi SC is nothing but WSC upon VSC into ISC. What is WSC we got? WSC is nothing but 2076 divided by what is VSC? 230 volt we have applied across the high voltage winding when my low voltage winding is short circuited into what is ISC? ISC is nothing but 35.47. So this you will get it as 0.254, means my power factor at short circuit condition equals to 0.254. So this is the asked in the problem. We have to find out the power factor at this condition also. So we got the power factor. This one is your power factor. Okay. Now, let us move to the next problem. So, the next problem is a single phase 3 kVA 230 by 115 volt 50 Hz transformer has following constant. R1 is given, X1 is given, R2 is given, X2 is given, R0 is given, XM is given. What should be the reading of the instrument when transformer is connected for open circuit test and short circuit test? In both tests, supply is given to the high voltage winding. Means while performing the both tests, we have to give supply to the high voltage side, means 230 volt side. So first of all, we will see for the open circuit test. So for open circuit test, what will be my V1? In open circuit test, we will give rated voltage across the primary winding. Here we have to connect which winding to the test supply system? High voltage side. So which one is high voltage side? 230 volt. So V1 will be 230 volt. Okay. So what is K here? K is nothing but 115 divided by 230. So it is equals to 0.5. K is 0.5. What is IC? IC is nothing but V1 upon RC. V1 upon RC or R0. It is mentioned as R0 here. What is V1? 230 volt. What is R0? 600. So what is my IC? It will be 0.383 ampere. Similarly, I can find out IM. What is IM? Magnetizing current. It will be V1 upon XM. So what is V1? 230 volt. What is XM given in the problem? 200. So it will be 1.15 ampere. What is my I0? I0 I can write down as IC square plus IM square. So this you will get it as 1.212 ampere. If you put the value of IC and IM in this equation, you will get the I0. Why we found the I0? Because now we have to find out the meter reading which are connected on the primary side and the secondary side. Now students, what is input on no load to the high voltage winding? So just I will write down input on no load to high voltage winding equals to V1 into IC. V1 into IC. So what is IC? IC is nothing but I1 into cos of phi 0. We know that what is input on no load to the high voltage winding? V1 I0 cos of phi 0. Right? But what is I0 cos of phi 0 is nothing but IC. So I will write down this as 230 volt into 0.383. So this you will get it as 88.09 watts. So this is the input on no load to the high voltage winding. Okay, so power rating you got it as a 88.09. So we have connected the primary winding with 230 volt. No load current which is flowing, due to that applied voltage is 1.212 ampere and the power taken from the supply is 88.09 watts. So here the readings of instruments are, what my voltmeter will show me? Voltmeter will show me 230 volt because I have applied 230 volt. My ammeter which is connected in series with your primary winding, it will show me the reading of the no load current, right? It will show me the reading of the no load current. So what is my no load current? No load current is 1.212 ampere. And what my wattmeter will show me, that is nothing but your no load power, which is equals to 88 watts approximately. Okay. Similarly, we can go for the short circuit test. So second will be the short circuit test, where we have to give the supply. We have to give supply to the high voltage winding in both the test. Okay. So what is your K? K is equal to 1/2, which is equals to 0.5. We have calculated. So what is RT1? RT1 is nothing but R1 plus R2 dash, which is equals to R1 plus R2 by K square. Okay. So I will write down this as 0.3 plus 0.09 divided by 0.5 whole square. 0.5 whole square. So this you will get is at 0.66. 1 by, this is 1/2 square. So 2 square into 0.09. Similarly, xt1 is equal to x1 plus x2 dash, which is equals to x1 plus x2 by k square, right? So what is x1? It is given in the problem. What is x1? x1 is 0.4 and x2 is 0.1. Okay. So if you put the values, you will get this as 0.8 ohm, right? So what is my ZT1 is nothing but equals to RT1 square plus XT1 whole square. So therefore students, you will get ZT1 equals to 1.037 ohm. Please check it, calculate it and check it. Okay. So now what is full load current in the high voltage winding? I1 full load. I will write down here. It is nothing but transformer is of 3 kVA. So 3 into 1000 divided by voltage of primary 230 volts. So it is 13.04 ampere. What we are doing in the short circuit test? We are short circuiting the secondary and apply voltage across the primary winding till the ammeter in the primary winding shows me the full load current of the primary winding. Okay. So from this I can find out what is VSC. VSC is nothing but I1 into ZT1, right? What is I1? We have calculated I1. It is 13.4. 13.4 into what is ZT1? 1.037. So this much of voltage we have to apply across the primary winding so that the ammeter which is connected in the primary will show its full load current. Similarly, we can find out WSC from this too. What is WSC is nothing but I1 square into RE1, because this is at short circuit only copper loss will take place. Iron loss is neglected totally. So that's why I have taken only RE1 here. So 13.04 whole square into what is RE1? 0.66. Just we have calculated this. Okay. So this will give you the 112 watts. 112 watts. Copper loss is in watt. Okay, student. So what are the instrument reading? Means the at the time of short circuit, my voltmeter will show me 13.5 volt reading. Right? My ammeter will show me 13 ampere reading. And my wattmeter will show me reading of 112 watts. I hope it is clear to all how to find out the meter readings when we have performed the open circuit and short circuit test on the transformer. Now let us students solve one problem based upon the auto transformer. Okay, so the problem statement is 11.5 kilovolt by 2.3 kilovolt single phase auto transformer when used as a two winding transformer has a rated output of 100 kVA. If the two windings of the transformer are connected in series to form auto transformer, find the possible voltage ratios and the output. So students, let us draw the auto transformer first. Auto transformer is a single winding transformer. Okay. So I have marked the terminals of this single winding A, B, C. The center terminal, the common terminal, I have taken it as a C. Okay. Now there are two possible connections here. I will just write down here. There are two possible connections. First possible connection is your BC is having voltage 11.5 kilovolt or 11,500 volts. Means this is your V2. This is your V2. And AC will be equals to 2300 means 2.3 volts. Okay. And second condition, second possible connection may be your BC equals to 2300 volts, which is equals to V2, and AC will be equals to 11.5 kilovolt, which is equals to 11500 volts. Okay. So now what is given in the problem? The auto transformer, when it is used as a two winding transformer, it has a rated output of 100 kVA. Or if two windings of the transformer are now connected in series to form the auto transformer, we have to find out the possible voltage ratio and the output of the transformer. So let us start with your A possibility, first possibility, where my BC equals to 11,500 volts. So in first connection, in A connection, what is my V2? My V2 is equal to 11,500 volts. And what is V1? V1 is equal to BC plus AC voltage, means 11,000. Just a minute, my pen is not responding. So 11,500 plus 2300 volts. So it will come about 13,800 volts. So the voltage applied across the winding is 13,800 volts. So therefore voltage ratio, what is voltage ratio? Voltage ratio equals to primary voltage divided by secondary voltage. What is secondary voltage? In first possible connection, it is 11,500. So it will be 138 by 115, right? What is transformer rating? Transformer rating is 100 kVA. Okay, transformer rating is 100 kVA. So I can write down from this, on the secondary side, what is the current? I2 minus I1 into V2, that's equals to 100 kVA. I will convert that into volt ampere. So from this, what I will get, I2 minus I1 will be equals to, divided by, okay. So from this I will get, I can find out I2 by I1. Okay. So I2, not by I1, I2 minus I1, it is equals to 100,000 divided by V2. What is your V2? V2 is V2 is 11,500. So my I2 minus I1, I will get it as 8.7 ampere. 8.7 ampere. Then similarly I can write down V1 minus V2 into I1. That's equals to 100 into 1000. Okay. So what is I1 from this? I1 will be equals to 100 into 1000 divided by 2300. Okay, because your V1 minus V2. What is V1? V1 equals to 13800. 13800 minus V2 means 11,500. So it will be 2300. So I1 I will get 43.5 ampere. Then now see, you got I2 minus I1, you got I1. So you can find out I2. So what is I2? I2 will be 8.7 plus I1 plus I1. So that will be 8.7 plus I1 means 43.5. So it will be 52.7 ampere. Okay. Now what is the kVA rating of the auto transformer? kVA rating of that auto transformer is given by equals to V1 into I1. So what is V1 here? Yes, what is V1? 13800 into, what is I1? We got 43.5 divided by 1000. So we will get the rating in the kVA. So it will be 600 kVA. So 100 kVA transformer, when it is connected as a one winding transformer, its output will be 600 kVA. Or on secondary side you can check it, V2 I2. What is my V2? V2 is 11,500 into what is current on the secondary side, that is I2, 52.7 divided by 1000. So same rating you should get. So 600 kilovolt ampere. So kVA rating of the auto transformer we got. Now what is the volume of your auto transformer? What is volume of auto transformer? Is equal to 1 minus 1 upon K, right? 1 upon K. What is K? K is nothing but V2 by V1. V2 by V1. 1 minus K. Simply I will write down here 1 minus K. 1 minus K into volume of your normal transformer, that is 2 winding transformer. 2 winding transformer. TW I will write down for 2 winding. So what it will be? So volume of auto transformer will be equals to 1 minus, what is K? What is K? K is nothing but the transformation ratio. So what is transformation ratio? It is 115 divided by 138, right? Means this will be 11500 divided by V2 by V1, 13800 into volume of your normal 2 winding transformer. So student, what you will get this as 1 minus 0.83. 1 minus 0.83 into volume of your 2 winding transformer. Therefore, volume of your auto transformer divided by volume of your 2 winding transformer is nothing but 0.17. Means volume of auto transformer is very less than that of your 2 winding transformer. That we have proved in this problem, whatever we have proved in the derivation also. Okay, so thank you students. Here we have finished with the simple problems related to the theory that I have covered on the basics of the transformer. If you like this lecture, please don't forget to share, like and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.